All right, we are recording. This will find its way to YouTube. Everyone say hi to YouTube. That's our new little thing to do. When we start the recording, we say our little hello to YouTube, and then we get into the collective. All right. Let's see what's going on for you guys. Give me the tea. Give me the hot goss. What's going on at the spiritual water cooler? I just heard begrudging acceptance? That's a weird one. Okay. Inferiority complex? What are we talking about? Let me get all the cards out before I keep going. I am just hearing, like, disembodied words right now. It's weird. Oh, thanks, Lily, for posting. Okay. Okay. All right. Bottom of the deck is our challenge. Represents what we're not seeing, what we're not looking at. We've got Justice, Temperance, Three of Cups, Knight of Swords. Okay, this is a weird one. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're not going to get a front row seat to people receiving their karma. I feel like we've talked about this before, but it's coming through really loud again in your challenge. For some reason, some of you guys are still waiting on, like, wanting to see people get their karma for what they did to you. And I feel like your guides are here to let you know, like, this is it makes sense with your challenge. Like, you're not always going to get that, like, front row seat. You're not always going to get that view of seeing them, like, actively go through that karma. And so a lot of you need to make peace within yourself for it. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's talk about it. You start with the Eight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. For a lot of you guys, it feels like you're kind of stuck in the past here, okay? It does feel like with the Eight of Swords and Page of Pentacles, this could be about your, like, how you got, the way I'm hearing it is, like, introduction to work. So this could be, like, how you kind of got started in the workplace, or, no, I feel like this is more just about money, like childhood wounds around money. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It doesn't feel like maybe your introduction to the workplace, was shaped by your childhood trauma around money, like by this idea of, like, lack, we don't have, it's not available. Yeah, King of Wands. It feels like for others of you, this collective feels very split to me. Some of you had parents that were all about, like, we're poor, we have no money, we're poor. And then King of Wands, others of you had parents that were, like, all about money. That's, like, all they wanted to talk about. And it feels like for both of you, it caused your respective problems here, because you've got the Tower and the Six of Swords now. You know, it feels like the more you try to move forward, the more this problem sort of grips you back, is almost what I want to say here. It feels like with the Tower and the Six of Swords, a lot of you are trying to become, I did not expect this to become a financial reading, a little bit more financially secure, or, like, financially stable, but it feels like you're kind of getting stuck in, again, these old ways of thinking, old modes of being. And also, I just heard comfort costs. Hold on. Say it again. The way my guides are saying this is because some of you think so little of yourselves, you lean into the comfort costs, where it's like you either get yourself a new plushie or a new bag, or you get yourself comfort food, or whatever it is. There is, like, this sense of, again, trying to heal from, probably the way that this is coming through is, like, abandonment issues combined with what I said earlier, which is that, like, oh, now I lost it. They said it to me earlier and I lost it. Inferiority complex. And it feels like the more that you guys try to dig into this, the more you feel like you can't. And the more you lean into the comfort costs. It feels like a lot of what I'm being told to sort of guide you guys with here is that if we are like struggling to understand fundamental concepts about our own trauma and like fundamentally dig into this issue without it being like dangerously triggering, we need to do it in a professional environment. Okay. I know we talk about therapy a lot, but I feel like for this particular group of people, whoever this is, whoever this is applying for, you need to start understanding that some of these problems can only be unpacked in therapy. There's only so much healing we can do on our own, especially for these sort of like generational, ingrained, very deeply intertwined to our sense of self problems, Because in your clarifying row, you've got the Six of Pentacles and the Chariot. I feel like for a lot of you here, you're always trying to find the middle ground, is how I'm hearing it. Like you're always trying to find someone who's going to give equal give and take with you, but I don't know if you never do, or can I get a little bit more about this? This reading is very cryptic today. What are we talking about with the middle ground here, please? The Empress and the Six of Cups. Yeah, it's an extension of childhood again. Ace of Cups in the reverse. It's like a very tragic cycle of you guys keep settling for less than what you deserve because from childhood you don't think of yourself highly enough to deserve anything but the bare minimum. And it's like you have these people in your life, people, places, things, maybe it's not even people, that are not even meeting you with the bare minimum. And you're accepting it. Why? A lot of you get stuck on that. Like you think back to the childhood, you try to tackle it, and then you get overwhelmed and you can't sift through it because you need to be in a professional environment. If there's no shame in not having the tools. For someone here, not having the tools doesn't make you incompetent because you're tying your worth to your competency. So, like, you're only good enough if you're competent enough to solve a problem. And because you don't have the tools to solve the problem, you then view yourself as incompetent. Not having the tools to solve a problem is not a reflection of our lack of worth. It's our reflection of, simply put, a lack of knowledge. Lacking knowledge isn't a crime here, okay? You guys need to start understanding that all these ways of thinking, all the Venn diagram that you all have put out in front of you here, it's a fucking circle, babe, okay? And it's like you need to start being able to dig into the past, dig into the problems. Number one, yes, in a more professional environment, but also number two, without so much judgment. It feels like you guys are just always waiting around the corner to judge yourselves. Like, it's almost like bully energy. You've got the Knight of Cups here and the Three of Wands. I'm going to be really mean. Okay. The reason you don't feel valued by other people is because you don't value yourself. That's the big problem here. That's the elephant in the room. I feel like a lot of you guys get led to this place of frustration where you're like, well, why is nobody valuing me? Why is nobody giving me this? Why am I not being met in the middle? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When was the last time you valued you? For some of you, you're always giving out opinions and advice to everyone else, but you can't take it yourself. Now it makes sense why we talked about that inferiority complex, because it stems from that lack of self-worth and that lack of self-value. The Hierophant? Oh. How do I say that? For a lot of you, a big component of all of this is religious trauma. But the way my guides are trying to give me this energy is like martyrdom won't save you. Being a martyr isn't going to help you. For someone who is very specific, your family taught you that being a sacrificial lamb was like a mark of greatness, or like was the thing that you were supposed to do. And now it's like your guides are like, that's not actually helping you. It's not doing anything but actually hurting you. It feels like herein lies a lot of that inferiority complex, is that, as Tara put it, the martyr complex. It goes hand in hand with the inferiority complex because your faith, for some of you, your religion, whatever you want to call it here, your upbringing, it taught you a very dangerous message here of like, you are not good enough. You know, and it feels like this is also why I feel like your guides are trying to give you guys an understanding here. This is why you're also out of your depth. You know, it's like, this is why you need to consult with professionals. This is why, because the problem has evolved to be so much bigger than just, I have some codependency issues. That's something we can try and work out on our own. This? Martyrdom? Not being good enough? Inferiority complex? All of this? That's not going away by yourself. That's not going to go away from drawing a salt bath and lighting some candles. That needs the professional eye. It needs a trained eye. Okay? I feel like that's like the biggest... That's like what feels like the biggest takeaway here, is that these things are not easy things to get through, and you also shouldn't have to get through it alone. Yes, what Tara said is basically a lot of what's coming through here. Something else that you guys are unlearning in this collective is like, I don't even want to say this. Attributing all your successes to a higher power. It feels like a lot of you are struggling also in this realm of like giving yourself credit for the things you're doing, because it's like you were raised to believe, well, you know, I'm not going to say the capital G God here. I'm going to replace it with universe, but replace it with the capital G God if that was where you were raised. But a lot of you were like, oh, I'm good in school. Well, that's a gift from the universe. Oh, I'm excelling at this sport. That's a gift from the universe. Oh, I'm successful at this. That would not happen if the universe did not do it for me. And so there's a lot here as well of like not being able to take credit for your own accomplishments, because again, it's like, well, I'm just going to send it up to the universe. You know, this is like a very, I always joke and say like, let go and let God. And like, it's a jokey kind of ironic thing for me. Some of y'all be doing it actually. And that's like part of the problem here. You know, it's you're attributing everything to a higher power when a lot of these things are not. You don't need to. You know? Mama, a religious trauma behind you. All right, let's see what the Angelarium has for y'all. I'm going to take that one. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Y'all got Asbeel, Angel of Ruin. Asbeel, Angel of Ruin. 37. Okay. Revealing this card is a sign that it's time to let something go. Failure to allow things to come to a clean end will force them to remain in a state of disrepair. When you are finally forced to acknowledge the end, you will have wished that you'd acknowledged your loss sooner. A door to the healing process is open if you have the courage to walk through it. I don't have much to add. from that one. I feel like that is pretty self-explanatory for it here. I feel like also, I don't know why this is coming through. For those of you that are looking to reclaim parts of the religious trauma, your guides are being so sassy about that. You actually have to heal it first to reclaim it. You actually have to heal it first to then reclaim it and bring it back. Okay? You gotta stop trying to pick the best of both worlds here. Okay? All right. I am going to leave that collective there for you guys. This was a rough one. I won't lie to you. This one was a doozy. So I will leave it there. If you are watching this on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. I hope one day you will tune in with us and our amazing community here on Twitch. I hope to see you one day here. I think I just said that. I'm like brain dead after a collective. But if I don't see you here, it's okay because I will see you in the next video, okay? Bye!